Do you ever feel like when you try to fund your creativity and passions, you take your complex 3D creative self and you try to stuff it into this 2D box, into this 2D system just to make ends meet? Do you ever feel like you're overwhelmed with all the work you have to do, posting content all over the place, Instagram, YouTube, shorts, just trying to keep up with everything, websites, and at the same time, there's this taste gap that you don't seem to get closer to. There's just, you keep on making things, but the taste gap increases and increases, and things don't feel satisfying and fun anymore. And at the same time, when you're trying to make content online just to try and get some money and just to try and get some eyeballs on you, you start to put on masks. You start to put on these like faces, and you try to edit for the algorithm and do viral editing, and it doesn't become you, or it starts to not become you anymore. It starts to become something else, and thus everything just feels so overwhelming and complex. And there's a better way, and I want to explain that solution at the end of this video. And at the same time, I'm also doing a live Zoom call, a Q&A call. If you guys are interested, if you guys want to hang or go deeper into these topics, there's an invitation link down below. But yeah, let's get started. We first have to figure out what to ignore first. So if you go onto YouTube or any other platform online, and you're creative, right? And you're trying to figure out how business works, how to, sell something. You have your creativity and you try to make a business out of it because it's your passion and you want to go down this entrepreneurial route, and you start looking on YouTube videos to see like, how are people doing it? And the thing is, on YouTube, there is so much low quality content. And what I mean by this is there are marketers marketing to marketers, and they create this feedback loop that's synthetic. And what I mean by this is when you actually sign up for some of these courses that people are selling online, it turns out to be just a framework that you copy and paste onto your business, not including any of the context of your situation or what you like or how things are different for you. And it either succeeds or fails, but usually it fails because the context isn't there. You're more holistic than that, than to put somebody's freaking framework onto your work, right? And so a lot of people are hurt by that, and a lot of people then say they can't make it. They have to give up their creativity and work a 9 to 5, and that's so depressing to hear and to see and actually see in person. Damn, this is happening and it sucks. So please ignore all of the low quality content, and it's not in order at all. And so you're just going all over the place, and it's all synthetic, just trying to keep that economy going. So ignore that. The next thing to ignore is any highly addictive, any highly soothing activities. So you know what I mean. These are doom scrolling, porn, all these things that, you feel that you shouldn't be doing, but you do anyways because, you're trying to get your needs met. And I understand, people get into those dopaminergic cycles, and it's really hard to break out of it, including myself. And yeah, it's a process, but you kind of have to ease yourself out of that system and try to get your dopamine levels back in line. Another thing you should ignore is anybody who doesn't have skin in the game. And it's if you're posting online, the commenters who are being rude or obnoxious, or, they're trolls. Hopefully by the content that you make, you shouldn't be attracting those kinds of people. But if you do have some assholes, then they don't have any skin in the game. That includes people in real life too. If you're trying to express yourself and who you are, fuck those people, right? So yeah, ignore those people, and ignore marketers marketing to marketers. Ignore those low quality content, all of those TikTok and Instagram reels. It's such low quality. So here's the theory and walkthrough of the macro environment narrative. So in the past, Web 1.0, when the internet first came out, it was a collection of curated content that were from experts. And it was basically like a university library, but online, and people could access it, but they couldn't really write that much and share. But then Web 2.0 came out. That's when the social media platforms started to emerge. People were chatting, creating their own things online. And basically, technology allowed everyone to have a voice for good and bad. And it's beautiful and at the same time scary. And Web 2.0 is what we're currently in. And in 2005, when YouTube was released, it basically brought TV to the internet. And in 2006, it got acquired by by Google. And, broadcasting yourself. People were exploring themselves. They were showing what they wanted to share, their passions, skits and all of these comedies, and everything was like being posted online. And it was just a revolution of content and internet. And at the same time, so people were posting and getting likes and, this validation, and people were posting clickbait videos and thumbnails. And then when you got onto the video, people weren't satisfied. And so YouTube in 2012 realized and changed the algorithm to make it into watch time being the favored metric. And when that came about, that's when the reaction videos came. That's when pranks and gaming became super popular. And this kind of continued for a while until 2019, until it got changed to retention. And you saw things like Mr. Beast becoming immensely popular. And with all of the viral editing content online, people were following suit, trying to copy his style. And you just saw a whole bunch of copycats. And basically the entire internet turned into, super optimized, super just trying to make money, right? And afterwards, what ends up happening is there's a shift. People are getting tired of that shit. And so it goes more towards storytelling. And that's kind of the era that we're in. Now, retention and viewer satisfaction is kind of the metric to go by. Storytelling and reconnecting with the messaging of broadcast yourself in a sense. And at the same time, there are people who follow that algorithmic route, and there are people who don't. They have their expertise, they have their creativity, and they just want to share it online. And at the same time, like, how do you make money doing that? If you want to, avoid the algorithms, avoid playing this fucking rigged game, and you just want to, share your creativity, share your passions, and go deeper and find a community that's also passionate and also, has compassion towards you and is super excited about that same thing. And so when I see these people and they try to post their creativity and their passions and keep it raw, right? Sort of like we're doing now, you see that not a lot of people view it because it's not optimized for the algorithm. I'm not spending hours and hours on trying to make the best thumbnail, title, all this analytics bullshit, right? I'm just trying to talk to you guys, trying to get on a wavelength that you might hop on or not and see how it goes from there. But I'm going at it from a very high frequency. I'm not going at this low bullshit, retention wearing masks frequency. And so how do we make money doing that? The thing that I wanted to say right off the bat is artists and creators undervalue themselves as a rule. And even gamers do as well, even when I was in esports and gaming. And it sucks to see because you have all of these creative people and I check out their profiles and I'm like wondering, trying to reverse engineer how people are making money doing so. And then I see these guys and they're selling like a $20 course or a $300 course or a $1,000 course, or there's like, they're trying to make ads or they're trying to do sponsorships, and there's so many ways of making money, and at the same time, it's not working. Like, people are not making money to fund their passions and creativity and share it. It's just, if you really optimize yourself for the algorithm and you get a big following, then you can leverage that a little bit to try and get, big sponsorships and all of that. But at the same time, you still sacrifice the creativity of making a video, which is still super hard to do. And if you put, a sponsorship on it, then there's even more pressure to perform, and even more like the gap of taste just keeps on jumping, and you're not able to produce the thing you actually want to do or give it the enough time that it needs and the care that it needs. And so, yeah, you end up kind of working at a surface level and you can't go deeper into your craft, which really sucks because then people get stagnated and they only see like that's the only option, and then they get stuck and then fuck, right? And so then the content gets worse, and yeah, it sucks all around, because then the viewer, even like me, for example, when I watch my favorite YouTubers, like, and they put out a course, I'm like, fuck, like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of marketing to marketer were you listening to? So yeah, anyways, that was my little rant. Regardless of your performance, regardless of the amount you make or your skills, realize your inherent value. That is one thing to take away from all of that I wanted to say. And realize the depth and divinity of your inherent value, and that there's a better way to make money, sharing your passions and going deeper into your craft. And so I kind of explained to you how people make money right now. You know, their sponsorships, algorithm, virality, you know, fan base support. You could get, you know, Patreon subscribers, donations, paywalls, merch. Yeah. Okay, people know how to make money online, right? But they don't. And so the thing now is, how do you make money online now in 2024, going into the future, this bigger wave that's going to happen? I see it happening, and I'm so excited, because like, people are actually going deeper into their craft doing this process. So how do you share your depth and divinity and make a living doing so? Well, there's two types of people. There's the creator and there's the expert. If you have 10 plus years of experience doing something, going deep into your craft, then you're more than qualified to, you know, share that experience and share all of the expertise that you have. And so making money doing that is a little bit tricky, but it's a lot simpler than it seems. And the way to do that as a creative, you get clear on who you are. And if you're an expert, you probably already have that. And you've done like done for you jobs for companies or people, or maybe you've done with you with other people, trying to help or coach and mentor people. And there's this new season of making new money. And the old way is consulting and courses, an agency and a cohort. And now the new way is to get a high ticket group of coaching and mentorship and go deeper with them and charge a high amount. And I'm not talking about, you know, selling the world to them. You know, I'm talking about a group call once a week. Keep it highly leveraged, because what ends up happening is the proximity to you as an expert, the amount of information and knowledge that you have, and the person you are, and the person you are to become who you are right now, if that makes sense. Basically, the process of how you got to where you are right now, there's so much value there, and your inherent value in general. And there's a process and systems and operating system you use to get to where you are at. And people want to learn all of that and be close to you and learn who you, or how to become similar to that, or just use that expertise and dive deeper into their own craft. And so I see domains like expanding, not just staying into one specific location. And it's super exciting. And that's the way to do it. You want to go deep with this small group of people who are, at the same time, they have deep compassion and they really empathize with your expertise, and they want to go deeper as well. And yeah, there's a mutual, you know, exchange. And that kind of high ticket offer, you know, don't charge $1 to $2 or, you know, maybe $3,000, but at least like $5,000 for one person. Go on it for a year. But okay, we're getting more into, you know, fulfillment. The thing is, keep it highly leveraged. You don't have to make courses, because what ends up happening is when you actually are talking to these people in a group, that's when it flourishes. That's when, you know, people that you're talking with, you end up working 1 + 1 = infinity. And so what I mean by that is, like, you're working for a higher cause, not just yourself and not just for that person. You work together for a higher cause. Yeah, that's the way to do it. High ticket, small group, coaching and showing how you got to who you are, and just seeing and diagnosing what kind of problems people are facing. And then on the other side, if you don't have that expertise, but you still want to, you know, get ahead of the curve, kind of ride the wave even before it starts, as a creator, you got to find your voice and you got to find your creativity. And you do that by working and showing your work. And it's easier said than done, but showing your work, even for experts, is one of the best ways to kind of market yourself and find your voice and be who you need to be in order to do the things you actually want to do. And there's that gratitude exchange that happens when you're giving it for free as a creator, and as for an expert who's just trying to start out on this business of mentorship or coaching or whatever avenue they want to go down deeper into. You don't actually know what the market wants unless you talk to people. And getting on phone calls and all of this, it's easier to leverage it in a group. And if you start off with having a free group and you talk in those groups and you see a prospective client that you might be interested working with, and if they're interested in working with and going deeper with you, and you have this transformation that you can bridge that gap for that person, then yeah, of course, try to get them signed up for a higher ticket cause. And that's where you make money, and that's where you fund your creativity and your passions. And it's so much easier and simpler than building all of these complex 3D systems and figuring out and optimizing the website and algorithm and it's so complicated. And at the same time, the simpler thing is the harder thing, because when you face this issue, you're like, shit, am I actually worth it? Can I actually charge 5K plus? All of these feelings come up of imposter syndrome and all of these ego questions and these feelings of oh shit, can I actually do it? And if you're an expert, I'm giving you full permission. Start a free group and see what people are having trouble with. And if you can bridge that gap between their problem and the solution, then hell yeah, do it. And there shouldn't be anything stopping you. And I'm sure you have a few people or a group of people that you can message or call and be like, hey, I'm starting this group. If you're interested, come hang and see if we can assumptions, get into your top 3 assumptions that they might have trouble with, or that problems that they might be facing. And yeah. And same for the creator. If you start a free group and you show the work and you just get people excited about the movement that you're building and the career that you're building pretty much, and you show that, as well as, get on these calls and or actually talking with people, the dialogue gets super interesting and you learn so much faster with the dialogue. And with people who are, giving you actual feedback and not just, praising you, putting a comment heart, what does that mean? And yeah, if you can help people, charge a high price for that, and yeah, transform people. And that's how you help people. So, okay, that's kind of how to make money now. The transformation that'll happen is that creators, they find their voice, they build a community, and there's gratitude, and there's an exchange that happens, the trust that gets built. And there's most people online, they build this trust on their YouTube channels, and then they fucking sell the trust for money in terms of subscriptions and in terms of freaking sponsorships and ads and integrations and all this bullshit. And my favorite YouTubers are oh, BetterHelp is a great whatever for the first 30 seconds to a minute. And I'm are you kidding me, bro? You are, diluting your divinity, and you're playing in this 2D box, whereas you could be expanding in a 3D box of, of course there are limits. So you have time, energy, and money. And so you can expand that 3D box and even dive deeper into your creativity. So I'm super passionate about this, if you can't tell. I want people to share their depth and divinity, and yeah, to do purposeful work, learning, and you'll also learn to where to draw the line and what kind of clients you want to work with. And yeah, so for experts too, they are clear on who they are, they're getting paid to go deeper into their craft, making lifelong relationships, full of ideas and space to be creative, no longer playing in 2D systems, creating from a 3D world, custom built. How you feel internally will be more aligned with how you feel externally. Time and energy will come back, no longer doing these fucking algorithmic posting content hamster wheels, and there'll be little to no resistance when creating, and it'll be fun, and it will be flowy and intuitive, and curiosity will continue to grow within you, and that's the best thing. And so, yeah, that's my video. I've been on and off here for quite a while now, and I know some of you guys might be new or you've been here for a long time, and I just want to say that, like, I want to get to know you guys, and I want to know what kind of problems you guys are facing. If you are interested in going deeper into any of this, I'm also hosting a Zoom call. It's in 1 week, and it's kind of a Q&A call. I want to get to know you. I want to see if I can help, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's in the description down below. Go sign up, and I'll be doing this more often. So I'm super excited. I'll meet you guys there, and thank you.